Behind the idea is that we can promote the ideas of A.S. Neil, that we can offer to today's education this historic fact that Summerhill works and that these ideas work. I mean, we've tried them and tested them for 80 years, so it's no longer the new experiment. This is actually the model school that shows how it works.
It's a killing James. They were admit to killing the teacher. So you must be angry then.
Imagine a school where kids have freedom to be themselves. Success is not defined by academic achievement, and you can play all day if you want to. Could there be such a school? My father, A.S. Neil, created Summerhill in 1921. It's possibly the most famous school in the world. I just don't know whether he would have projected this far ahead. You know, he liked to think it would survive, but he never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that it would have the impact that it's having.
I still believe it in the state school. It's all wrong. It's all fear and discipline and the mere fact that kids who should be moving all the time are sitting on their asses about 6 hours a day. It's all against human nature. It's all against child nature.
It's such a basic wrong that was being done, and he saw it, and I'm amazed that no one else did this, you know, did the same thing, because it was there staring everyone in the face, and he did it.
Neil's radical philosophy became famous through a series of international bestsellers and still continues to inspire generations of teachers, parents and children. The Times Educational Supplement rated my father as one of the 12 most influential educators of the last millennium.
This is the only school in the world where people cry at end of term and beginning of term. People beg their parents to be allowed to come a week early. You know, I don't know of many schools where, for example, I mean, 2 years ago now in the summer there was a conference here, the IDEC conference, sort of on free schooling and democratic education, and begging my mum to be able to come to the conference, partly because I was interested and partly also because I could be here for a bit of extra time in the holiday, you know, and it was great because some of the other kids came as well. And we took part in talks and, you know, discussions and things like that, and told other people about the school, but also I was able to come back and sort of see my second home sort of thing.
Morning!
Hi there.
Very tired. Sleep.
Hello.
My dad was not just a philosopher. He set out to build a school based on children's rights. It's continued for over 80 years and is still thriving, even without him.
120 chairs, yeah. And then there's 120 times 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
So you've added those two together. What about these guys?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's easier to be a good teacher here than it is in a state school. I think, but it's easier to be a good teacher here. You can be yourself, which I don't think you can be in a state school. In a state school, you've got to wear a mask of authority, and you've got to control. And here, you don't have any of that. So here, I mean, here you can just be yourself, relax, and be a good teacher at the same time, which makes it a lot easier.
We advertise for our teachers, and we get a mixture. We get people who are disillusioned with mainstream, and we get people who have come straight from college who don't want to go into mainstream. They've done their training and they don't actually want to go into a system where they are fundamentally policemen.
Oh, it's killing the teacher. So you must be angry then.
The class sizes here are fairly small. I mean, about 7 or 8 in class 2 where I teach. And in that kind of size, I mean, you get to know all the children. You know, every aspect of the child you'll get to know.
In parts of London, it is rumoured that some bishops have opinions that are too old. The wealthy patrons are dissatisfied with the bishop's sermons. Where? And here it says... She blew on the paper.
So
She has been mesmerised by his supporting the bastard.
I'd left mainstream education because of what was happening with national curriculum, and the fact that what good there was in the mainstream was being destroyed by the emphasis on academic and exams, basically.
I used to give you support of money, but now I might give it to you because you didn't think you. Well, I used to. I'm an expert.
Learning doesn't just take place in the classroom. In fact, a lot of the important things are learned elsewhere and without a teacher.
Of course, all kids want to just go outside, play football, do anything like that. But when you think, hang on, what am I missing? And you're missing things like reading, and you're missing things like painting, and you know there are lots of other skills that are that are fun to do and not just necessary. Like reading and writing is fun. It's not just you sit in a classroom and do that all day, which is what it is in a state school,
Children need space to pursue a passion and to create their own imaginary worlds through books, games or dreams. Pupils free from compulsion are able to make choices about lessons, maintain their interest and motivation, and go on to become lifelong learners. Most people think that Summerhill is a place where children can do as they like. In reality, we have over 150 rules. They're made by all of us, which means that we can make changes when we want to. Everyone in the school, adult or child, has an equal vote and is accountable to the whole community.